I think the last episode was the episode where I recorded this prior to us actually making the episode. So I had no idea what we talked about. This time I know what we talked about, and yet I have no idea what to say still. But it's another episode of the Energy is Love podcast with Stephanie and Craig. This is episode 143, 44, somewhere along those lines. If you haven't already, and you are now listening to this podcast on whatever platform you're choosing to listen on, which, by the way, there are many, many ways to listen to the podcast. If you haven't already, tell somebody about it. I don't care about subscribing. I don't care about like rating or reviewing. All of that stuff doesn't really matter to me. What does matter is you just tell somebody, hey, you should check out this podcast, especially if you like it. If you don't like it, then, hey, check out this podcast that I don't like. That makes total sense. But if you like it, share it, tell somebody about it. In an organic way, that's how this podcast has grown over the years. EnergyIsLovePodcast.com. This episode is brought to you by Stephanie and myself, sitting in our bed early one morning before anybody was awake, drinking our coffee and recording this fun episode. We talked about the abortion ban first off. Well, we don't talk about that first, but we did talk about that. And we don't really have an answer to some of the questions that we pose. It's a definite slippery slope of convoluted emotions and feelings and thoughts. And I think we're seeing that obviously play out in society. But just so we're clear, as you listen to this, Steph and I are both 100% pro-choice in the sense of it's the woman's body who gets to make the decisions for her body. I just want to make sure that's clear. Neither one of us are on any other side of the fence. We also spend a decent amount of time talking about clitorises, even though I have no idea how to say the plural of that word, and a whole bunch of other fun things. So if this is the first time you're tuning in, thank you. If you are a rabid, avid, I don't know which is the more appropriate. If you are an avid fan of the podcast, welcome back. And we do appreciate you tuning in week after week after week. We definitely have a good time doing this show. Another episode of the Energy is Love podcast with Steph and Craig. Here we go.
You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is Love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is Love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
You have to remember, I'm not adjusting your microphone when I first put it on there because it's the perfect spot that it needs to be at.
Looks like it. You eyeball it, move it, get it really fine precision, and then walk away. And I think, okay, hold here.
I eyeball it and move it in hopes that it's going to be in the right spot, fully understanding that you're going to move it.
That sounds a little like you expect me to move it after you get it perfect. She'll just move it anyways. I don't know why I bother.
No, I try to line it up just right.
Yeah, you do pretty good usually.
This is a unique scenario.
This is.
We are recording in bed.
Oh, that sounds naughty.
And it's totally not.
Being in bed with me is so not naughty.
Being in bed with you is naughty. Not right now.
Why?
I don't know.
Because I feel like that wasn't a trick question. Because we have coffee between us, clothes, and microphones.
Yes. So this will not be a naughty episode of the podcast.
No, it's okay. I'm kind of a non-sexual endeavor here.
This totally sucks.
Oh.
Like, I'm trying to look at you.
Oh, I keep turning my head and looking at you.
Yeah,
Can you hear it?
I'm trying to look at you out of the corner of my eye.
Oh, like this.
So this may not happen again in the future. We may not record in the bed again unless we figure it out in a better way.
Can you hear me okay even when I turn and look at you?
Yeah, like if you come across like that, that's totally fine.
I think that's what I've been doing.
You have.
Hey, I got this down.
So part of the reason why we are recording in our bed, in our bedroom, that's where the bed is it's summertime.
That's a good reason.
Well, no, it's summertime and the kids are out of school.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to find times and opportunities to record now, whereas before we had the luxury of just hours and hours and hours of time to ourselves.
my gosh.
Which is gone now.
It's gone. Only for a few months.
Long.
And then the school steals them away again.
Tedious months.
We have different opinions.
Do you like it when they're out of school?
I don't like the fact that we can't have sex whenever we want during the day. And the podcast, I guess, is harder to come up with. But yeah, I do. I always get a little, pissed off at the school when it's time for them to go back.
I think they should have 2 weeks.
No.
Okay, 3. 3 weeks is more than enough.
I don't think so.
We can plan a family vacation during that time period and then send them back to school. Don't they do that in some countries?
Probably. The countries that want to suck the life out of the children even more.
I think we just need to get rid of school altogether.
See? Then what would you do? They'd be here all the time.
Yeah.
You're like 3 weeks. Nah, forget it. We'll just take it completely out.
Yeah, cancel that.
It's not hot and cold there.
School's such a waste, though.
Unfortunately, yeah.
What do you feel like in your entire education, with the exception of reading and writing, what do you feel like you took from your education and are still using today?
Addition and subtraction. And beyond that, nope.
Yeah.
And I probably still use a calculator for the majority of that. So, yeah, no.
I'm trying to think.
I can't think of anything.
What about critical thinking or something like
critical
that?
Critical thinking. I did not learn that from school. They did not teach critical thinking. They labeled dumbass classes, but no, I don't have any life skills that I can think of. I mean, maybe if I'd have been in band or something and I'd have learned a musical instrument, that would be something. So there you go. Reading and band so far is the only worthwhile things in school.
But you weren't in band.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If I was, at least I would still have something I think that's a good thing to have is musical instruments, which, I can play my butt cheeks. Not by farting, by smacking them.
Oh my gosh.
By smacking them. I learned that in school. Sorry.
So yeah, we probably won't be recording another episode in the bed.
I was just hoping you get a drink of your coffee.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. No, I can't think of anything. I was trying to be optimistic. But I do not feel like there was a lot of takeaways.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they really gave us all that much.
No.
If you're an educator out there, we do appreciate you, however. If you're a teacher and if you're doing your damnedest to influence and change the lives of students, then please continue.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of teachers. I can think of one of mine, and I can think of a select few of our kids that wanted to teach and made a difference in their lives and didn't stick with the complete hand-tied asinine. It's the districts and the laws and the policies which is jacking everything up and test. You have teachers that come in there with their hearts and have to do follow whatever curriculum is state approved that is not individualized to the kids. And then you have these rebel teachers out there that are like, I see these children and not these numbers, and they are the difference makers. I don't know.
I don't know either. But our kids are home from school.
Yes.
For the summer. So, baby.
I don't talk about school.
You don't want to talk about school?
No, I feel so bad. Because I can see it from so many different angles when it comes to the teachers. My whole perspective changes when it comes to the teachers. Because I'm like, school is a joke. And then it comes to the teachers. And then you see these people that, the whole spectrum that they're on goes from these heart motivated, they will not be broken, they will keep seeing the kids and helping the kids thrive, amazing. And then you have this is just a very crude graph, points on the spectrum, just very fine points. I know it's much more, But then you have the ones that they want to be there. They want to make a difference, but their hands are so tight and, tyrants. Not allowing them to. I totally say tyrants. Not allowing, these are the scores you must get, and this is how you must teach. And I don't care if Billy or Jane excel here or need help here. This is the level that it's going to be at. And then you have the ones that have been broken, that have been in it way too long and don't like the people they work with or the kids in front of them. That it's time that they go to another career, because it's so sad, because you can see so much different progression within the teachers. And so that's a whole, I think schools and teachers, while they are wrapped up in the same bubble, when I'm talking about the school system, I'm definitely not slamming on the teachers, because they probably agree with the school system just like we do. Most of them are parents anyways.
Yeah, they probably. Where do you think the whole dynamic of covering your ass originated from? Like, when did we become a culture of you have to cover your ass?
I don't know. I can think of CYA that's been pounded into me forever. CYA. Always, everything you do, document CYA.
Yeah, like, when did that become the norm? Or I don't know either. I'm trying to, because I was thinking as you were sitting there talking about the tyrants, the tyranny from the top down at the school or in the school system. I mean, all they're doing is just covering their ass. Yeah. So the school district, the school board, the teachers, the principals, everybody's just. Oh
no, not the district or the boards.
They are, though. They're covering their ass from what's above them, and trying to protect themselves and protect their jobs and funding and bullshit and blah, blah, blah.
Bullshit and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know. CYA's been all I've ever known, so before our time.
I think it's ridiculous.
Yep. Like, it is pounded into me so hard. The liability and covering your own ass. And I guess, I don't know, that's just how I grew up. That's how every job I've ever had has been in that way, where you absolutely have to document everything, and it's critical, and the liability is critical. That I think, like, when I first started massaging, my liability waiver, I guess you would call it. It's not really, it's like an intake form, but the questions on there there's so much. And I was trying to pack as much as I could into one sheet, because I didn't want to make it a 2-pager form. And, but that's not including the disclosure that was a 2-page that's previous to the intake. But you only have to, and I thought, oh my God, it's like, so this next set that I'm doing is definitely going to be a much more relaxed version, because it didn't hit me till doing it for a while. I'm like, this is asinine. This is way over the top. This is taking, like, I feel like it was like robbing from the experience in a sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I handled it well, explained it, and obviously I never pressed anything, so.
What is the big thing that we're covering our ass from?
Well, honestly, the reason I have that much on the intake isn't because I'm afraid they'll turn around and. Okay, so when you look at it that way, I still think it's a little much. I think they'll tell you, and at the most part, you'll know if there's really issues. The big issues can be covered in a real quick conversation. And if there's anything else, it's not going to be quite as affected. But I asked so many questions because I didn't want to, certain things can cause harm. Like for instance, blood thinners, obviously you can't do deep tissue. You're laughing at me.
I'm not laughing at you.
I asked so many questions out of compassion, because there's times you forget things, and I've had people, I forgot that I had, this procedure or this going on. And I just want to make sure that, I don't know, I guess I just didn't want to cause any harm.
No, I get that. What I wasn't talking about you specifically in regards to your waiver for massage. people in
Whatever. What's the point then if we're not talking about me specifically? I figure like this is a Steph show.
like, what are we really covering our asses
Being
from?
sued.
But like, who
Losing
cares
everything.
about that?
I don't know, the person being sued and losing everything.
I don't
They
know.
care.
I don't know.
You don't have a lot of like, I care. I don't want to get sued.
But what are they going to take from us?
The house, the $5 that we've got hidden under the mattress. Shit.
Exactly.
Now they know.
Like,
I don't, they can take everything.
But it's all nothing.
Well then quit spending. I don't know. It's hard. Some people have money.
Let's sue them. Let's find a reason to sue them.
I don't know. I think because everybody's looking to it's the way to shift the blame off of you, because blame's going to come down at some point, and like whoever documents the least gets the blame.
Yeah, passing the buck, huh?
Yeah.
That's another thing. All of these metaphors. Cover your ass, pass the buck. What else? I guess there's only two that we can think of right now. No, what else are there?
What is the one what's the horse one? It's not in reference to
You can
this,
lead a
but-
horse to water, but you can't
No,
make him drink.
No, that's a good one.
I think that one's specifically in regards to teenagers.
Oh my God. Okay, yes. No, it's like something like a gift horse in the mouth. Is it don't lick?
Don't look.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth? What the hell does that mean?
So when, back in the day, when I think that's what it is.
Oh, cool.
I got it figured out.
What is it?
Because I was trying to be silly, but then it all clicked in my head. So undoubtedly, that term, "don't look a gift horse in the mouth," comes from the Trojan horse.
Okay.
Do you know the story of the Trojan horse?
Yes, but had they looked inside, they would have
They
seen
would
the
have seen the bad guys that were there.
So why is it don't look when you should totally look?
You should just take a gift as a gift and not look too much into it.
That's what happened, and then
the Trojan army came out of the horse.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a good example of something you should not do. Definitely look a gift horse in the mouth. Every gift you get, you should look for. See, that's the whole idea. Like you're always looking for, what's the angle here? What are they trying to do?
well, how many times do people have angles? Well, why are there so many angles? Why can't a gift horse be a gift horse? Trojans. Now that's a terrible name for a condom, because the Trojan theory is it seems solid and then the bad guys bust out and take over everything. So that means the condoms are going to break and take over your uterus. Stay away from the Trojans. Ribbed for her pleasure, my ass.
Oh, goodness.
You can see it.
I
It's
can
like
see
the
a lot of
sperm
things
spilled
right
out.
now. There's a
It took
lot of
over.
visuals flowing through my head right now. So, yes.
Oh my hell. Speaking of Trojan, we should talk about... No, it's okay.
Talk about what?
I just learned I am 39.
Okay.
I've had a
You just learned
clitoris all my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I just have, within the last couple of months, have learned more, learned about its anatomy. And apparently that's only been out like 29 years.
Your clitoris has only been out for 29 years? It finally came out?
The anatomy awareness of a woman's clitoris is something that is just barely out there. Knowledge. I'm saying clitoris. I'm a little nervous. So.
They haven't, that's not an area of...
No, men haven't really paid attention that much to it. It's been like a myth.
No.
I didn't say all men.
No.
Yes, I did, men. Yes. Well.
So when you say it's only been out for 29 years, meaning they only started kind of studying it and figuring
to really
it out?
figure out the anatomy of it.
Hmm.
So.
And what have you learned about your clitoris?
It's not just a button. It's not a little doorknob that enjoys attention.
What is it?
How much of it do you think is internal? How much like
I think it's the tip of the iceberg.
It is totally. There was this whole TED Talk. This chick did on it. It's totally the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
It is internal. It's like 80% of it is within the woman's body. And do you know what it resembles?
No.
Here we go. Are you ready?
Bum, bum, bum.
If you take the male sex organs anatomy and put it next to the female's like clitoris, if you put the penis and the clitoris anatomy next to each other, they are pretty identical.
Really?
The difference is the woman's is internal and the male's is external. And like the male has something like 3,000 nerves and the woman has 8,000. So women have very amazing orgasms.
Well, that's also dependent upon the woman. Not all women have amazing orgasms.
You're right. All women are capable of it unless they've been mutilated. Women are capable of knowing their body and feeling comfortable and not being bombarded with trauma. Self-gratification, yes. And then also with a considerate partner. Women have the ability if they are allowed. And if they are not allowed, that's not like, oh, you're failing if you can't have an orgasm. That's not what I'm saying.
So what else did you learn about your clitoris?
That it's magical. No, I just was so surprised at how the shapes, the design is so similar. It's like...
To the penis?
Yeah. Like there's not a lot of separation there. I don't know. It was this whole, like, been talking about. I don't know. Anyways, I probably shouldn't. This is a weird.
Why? You just started talking about your clitoris. That's fine.
I didn't. I started talking about clitoris in general, not just like
not
mine.
Just yours.
You let me know that it wasn't about me. So.
What's the plural of clitorises?
Clitorises? Clitori.
Clitori.
I have no idea.
She's got a clitori. What's that? That's when you get some stuff in your eye.
It's a party, I think is the...
It's the opposite of pink eye.
Now it's gross. Don't make it gross. But we were talking about that. I saw that talk and one of those, that group that we're just starting going to. We were talking about how I feel like I'm sex positive, right? And that I talk to the kids, like you talk to the kids, the things that we do with our kids and letting them talk about it and letting them know, there's not shame for having sex or being, turned on or wanting to be sexual. But there's, times and places, any of that. I feel like we're pretty good about it.
Yeah.
And we say, how like masturbation is okay. It's not something to be ashamed about or shameful or whatever. But I think we talked about this in the shower too, a little bit, you and I. But we won't
be recording a podcast in the shower, just FYI.
Things that like I am still like, even though it's like we'll talk to them about how to prevent pregnancy and STDs and respect your body and consent but talking about pleasure, other than it's supposed to feel good. It's okay to feel good. Allow it to feel good. Other than that, like I don't have the verbiage for it. Like I don't believe I've ever said the word clitoris to our children. And I don't feel like I can give them information on the pleasure aspect of it. Other than like, don't feel shame for it. It's supposed to feel good. Good luck. Like, I don't know how to have that conversation.
It's because we're like so behind the curve. And it's not our fault. Like do you know what I mean? I mean, it is kind of our fault. Like we should have done a better job from day one with the kids. But at the same time, like there's no easy way. There's no wrong or right way. There's no necessarily like good way to talk to kids today about sex. And I mean, that immediately triggered me and be like, yes, there is. You're just not a good parent. Like, you're not doing a good job. And
that's what it feels like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think the earlier you start, the better. Because not dumbass, she's not a dumbass. She's wonderful. But a dumbass kid comes home and you and I happen to be in the throes of sex.
She came home.
In our bedroom. And as soon as we hear the door starting to open, it's like immediate freeze, don't move.
No, we did. We threw the blankets over us and played dead.
Yes. And then she proceeds to shame us continually for the next 3 weeks. And
maybe if your ass would have been at school.
yeah, don't come home early. But like, I understand not, definitely walking in on your parents having sex, even though nothing, it's not like we were. Anyways, I understand how
it wasn't one of the wildest versions.
No, and it's not.
It actually was. It was pretty, and we just happened to be covered. It was okay.
It was a good day.
It was a good day. Luckily, we heard that door in time to
cover
separate up and play dead under the blankets.
So I get that that's a traumatic
Disengage.
event for a teenager to walk in on. However,
but it's funny.
Well, it is funny, and it shouldn't be a traumatic event. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like, it shouldn't be like, she I don't know how I suppose I wish she would have handled it, or how I wish we would have handled it. Or
I wish she wouldn't have walked in. Like
first off,
into
that
the
would have
house.
been wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Because I think, it's natural. It should be fine. But at the same point, like, we were just as traumatized. I mean,
yeah, but like it should just obviously your parents,
yes, cover up.
Well, obviously your parents are having sex, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and you should be, I don't know, happy. I suppose that means that your parents are in a loving relationship.
She walks around high-fiving her friends. Guess what? My parents are having sex. Yay! I don't.
No, but like that means that your parents are in love, and that
sex
means
doesn't equal love.
You're right. But
yeah, I agree. I think, that doesn't, in case there's any, misunderstanding, it doesn't mean, in my opinion, that continue having sex at that moment. No, like, stop, cover up, do all the things, because they don't need to see that. They do not need to see that. But yes, I wish it wasn't shameful. I wish I wasn't shameful for it. I wish she wasn't like, you ruined my life.
Yeah.
But at the same point, like, I don't know. Maybe if it wasn't taught that it was
something to hide.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the first time we've been caught. The only difference this time was you got the nervous laughter like I get. So I wasn't the only one laughing this time. You were giggling too.
It's definitely not going to be the last time either.
Probably not. Well, I don't know. You never know. Maybe we stop having sex today.
Today?
Or whenever was the last time we had sex.
We're not done having sex.
You never know.
Where's the craziest place you think we have had sex?
The craziest place we've had sex.
Coffee refill.
Yes, thank you. The craziest place?
Well, crazy, exciting.
Guess. Well, are we talking like
risky?
Risky. Okay, risky.
Besides the butt.
You don't know if he's talking about mine or his.
No, it's a club we go to. It's called the Butt.
Ew. Don't sit down anywhere.
It's a barbecue joint. They just do a bunch of pig butt smoking of the pig butt. That's why it's called the Butt. It's just a barbecue joint.
So bad.
And we just had sex in the bathroom. It's not a big deal.
The sauce was fantastic.
Now, what do you think
We've
is
never had sex in a bathroom.
Because bathrooms are gross.
I know, but like there's that part of me that wants to do that. Yes, bathrooms are gross, but you always see like this naughty in the movies, like, I'm going to get up and walk to the bathroom and you meet me there in 30 seconds, knock 2 times before you come in, and then boom. And it's this like throw of naughty and sex, and it's this hot quickie. But I'm very much like, I don't even put my butt on the toilet. Like, I hover. So
Yeah, so we have to do some scouting ahead of time to find let's go to a really fancy restaurant where they're going to have really nice bathrooms.
yeah, but then there'll be like bathroom attendants or something in there.
And then we just have to do it in a stall.
Be like,
Can we get a towel, please?
no, okay. I guess I don't want to have sex in a bathroom.
Well, where do you think is the in your head? Where's the coolest place that we've had sex?
The coolest or the riskiest?
Well, either or.
I don't know. I guess the riskiest. Like, I'm afraid it's not that risky. I guess the riskiest is.
It's not that risky.
Well, it's not. So it would sound boring. It was a wonderful time and I loved it, but that's like the riskiest. I'm like, that's not really that risky. Like the parking structure at the Whole Foods or something in the van. We've had pulled over and had sex in the van.
We weren't.
Where there's
we
still
weren't,
like
we
not
weren't
in
pulled over, meaning we weren't in the process of getting pulled over.
Yeah, you're like, hey,
That
officer,
would
check
be
this
risky.
out.
When he walks back to the
Say,
patrol
baby,
car.
can you finish this before he gets up here? Go.
Oh, that would be hilarious. No, we haven't done that. Yeah, parking
So,
garage.
Couple parking garages, side of the roads. I guess those are the most risky.
Nude beach.
Oh, that was, yes, because you're not. Yeah.
Who says you're not supposed to?
Oh, there's all these things about you're not supposed to.
I didn't see any signs.
Well, they're like, I read. And they're like, if like the nude beach people catch you having sex, then you can, I don't know what the naturalists, then it can, like, they'll shame you for it too, because it can risk them losing their ability to have the nude beach. I don't remember it all. Obviously, I didn't read this yesterday. But then I kind of felt guilty.
Yeah.
But then there was also, like, we were like hidden away where anybody could see us, except for the dude that was living in the boat. Like the boat. Do you remember the boat?
I don't think there was anybody living in there.
Well, there was a raft that was there and then wasn't. And it was always there. So
Okay.
I think we gave him a live action porn movie.
Boat guy.
Boat guy got to see our...
We're on a website somewhere.
Oh, God.
Hashtag, not
Shh,
hashtag.
don't give the beach away just in case.
It's boatguy.com.
Boat
I guarantee there's a boatguy.com.
Probably. You know what would be funny as shit? Is if that was actually it and you just direct linked them to our unintentional sex tape that we did not consent to. Good job.
You're welcome, people. I like it when we get the opportunity to have sex outdoors.
Me too.
That's some of my favorite times. I like the outdoors.
I do too.
And
Do you agree with me on the risky? Like, that's pretty much our risky.
yeah, but I don't think it's...
Even your, yeah, that's it. It feels lame.
I don't think we're lame at all.
Well, I didn't till you put it that way. I'm like, oh yeah, that one hot time we brought out the handcuffs. Ew, we're naughty.
Where do you think people are having sex that is like crazier than we are?
I don't know, but you know what? Apparently we could use some ideas. So if you want to throw out some naughty sex
Back
endeavors.
of a movie theater.
Oh, we did. Well, we didn't have sex.
There was sexual acts
There were
involved.
sexual acts, but it wasn't sex.
I wasn't complaining.
Well, I wasn't speaking. Okay, that was pretty bold. But
Yeah.
again, that's so, like, there's songs about that, so it's not that unique. I want a unique, risky sexual experience with you.
What would that look like?
I don't know. My brain isn't, I'm too Mormon-brained, I guess. I'm not a Mormon.
You definitely are not Mormon-brained.
Well, maybe I'm just, I can't think outside of the box that much because of the state we live in. I need some ideas, people.
Unique, risky.
Let's climb up on the roof. Let's just go.
On our roof? Have you been up on our roof?
It's pretty angled. So
Yeah, there's no way that's happening. Unless we get like some prep work ahead of time and mount some 2x4s and
risk of getting caught, not risk of dying. I don't want to have sex that could kill us.
what do you think the whole thing is about, the risk of getting caught?
I don't know.
Is that a thing for you?
Slightly, but not too much.
Yeah.
Because like where you could get caught is kind of like, ooh, we're being naughty and fun, but I don't want to get caught. Like, fuck that. Like, I remember the movie theater, and every time you would adjust, I would think somebody was coming in, and I'd pop up like a fucking possum. And I was sick at the end of it because my stomach, my nerves were going so bad. Like, I don't want to get caught.
What do you think is going to happen if we get caught too?
We're going to go to jail, and we're going to be on a registry, and life is over, and everything ends. I don't want to get caught. I just want to be like, ooh, he could get caught. This is like so naughty. But no, I don't want a record.
Have you ever seen anybody having sex in public before? Or even like the...
I saw a chick getting fingered at Olive Garden once.
Oh my goodness, that's very graphic.
I'm sorry.
Did you want some more breadsticks?
A woman enjoying the extremities.
What? How did that? What? Tell me that story. That doesn't make sense.
Well, they were at a different table.
Okay.
Not a booth.
Okay.
Or God, I can't even remember. I could see their chair like under the table, and like she was kind of moving toward. And I'm like, huh? And I looked, and then I was like, oh. And she just like had her legs spread, and he was dun 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 dun. He was playing with her button. Her chutes and ladders.
The tip of the iceberg.
He was also looking for the other part of it, the internal section. So, and you know, like
some people really like that salad dressing.
Ew.
From Olive Garden.
I know, but like, so I don't know. It was
anything else. So you caught somebody. I didn't
catch him. I wasn't like, I see you. I see
that's
where
the
his
thing
fingers are going.
Like, you know, there's no risk of anything really happening.
Well,
like what's going to
here's
happen?
The difference. Like, obviously, I want to, be careful that it's not a place where any children can accidentally see.
Yeah.
Because it was there with adults. So therefore it was like, oh, dude, check that out. Look at. But if would have been there with children, oh, I'd have been pissed. I would have been livid. And I would have had to because I don't want my kids to accidentally see that the sex positive person that I am. No, I don't want them to see that. I don't think they need to see that. Their little brains developing. Like if they see it, I want it to be their choice. I want it to be something that they look for or that they want to see, not something that they're, not having the choice to see it.
Where is the most normalized, oh my goodness, excuse me, the moist,
that's okay.
Where's the most normalized place in the world as far as like sex and nudity and bodies? And
probably like Europe or Australia. They're pretty, like you can do all kinds of there's oh my gosh, I've almost got it. It's not maybe it's Costa Rica.
Oh, I don't think it's Costa Rica.
There's this place. There's this like island.
Rio?
No.
Fiji?
Oh, maybe Fiji. Like there's places out there, but.
No, isn't it like Norway or Sweden or Denmark or.
I don't remember.
Some European.
Hey, listeners around the world, where can you be? And I'm not talking like.
I think we should move there.
Oh, I bet you do.
No, for like 6 months. Just to see what it would be like to live in a culture where, like, it's not a big deal.
I would like it to not be a big deal with your bodies. Like, maybe not bending somebody over and having sex everywhere and, like, bodily fluid seepage out of everything.
Like, but nipples and breasts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
the women body is where Craig's all out. I would like it to be where it's okay to... The human form is not a shameful thing to see.
Yeah.
I think that would be very beneficial.
I think those cultures probably do a way better job when it comes to the conversations.
Probably. They're not scared to see a vulva or a penis.
A vulva.
Mm-hmm. It's the entire thing. I'm trying to work on my language.
Are you sure it's not a Volvo? I'm pretty sure you're thinking of the car company.
I'm not. I'm working on my language because vagina is actually just...
The internal part.
Yes.
The canal.
The apparently is
The
called
Panama.
a sword holder, is what the word's broken, like the Latin word, the meaning or whatever.
A vagina?
Yeah.
Is
so
a sword holder?
that's what that was on the podcast or on the thing. So I won't call it a vagina anymore.
Because it holds swords?
I will call it, because they were degrading to women.
Men definitely made up most of the words.
Yeah, a sword holder. Well, I don't know. I think I've heard some men that I know call it a cock holster. So.
I haven't said that. No, I really haven't.
You haven't?
No, I'm not one for, outside of like pussy.
See, I'm not offended by pussy.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me at all. I don't know why. Maybe it just doesn't bother me at all.
I was going to, one of the things that you and I had thought about talking on the podcast was that conversation surrounding the dynamic of what is... Are you remembering it now?
I'm just waiting while your hands are up in the air. You're going to draw me a make-believe picture.
Yes. So I'm going
Pointing to the right.
What
Two
is...
fingers.
Because right now, currently,
Okay.
in culture...
What's all the fingers?
The whole thing that's taking place right now with...
I'm uncomfortable. Hold on. Let me try again. I'm afraid something's going to shock me. So I'm making jokes with your hand.
No,
because
nothing's
I'm
going to
afraid
shock
of what
you.
you're
You're
going to
remember this. You're going to remember it as soon as I get to it.
Okay.
The abortion ban, or whatever it was in Alabama. Was it Alabama?
I don't know.
I think it's Alabama. So we had a brief conversation, the two of us, and thought that would be an interesting topic to talk about on the podcast, given that that's a topic that people feel very strongly men should not be able to make decisions about, chime in on, or have an opinion necessarily, or that their opinion doesn't matter because it's a woman's body and a woman's right, and she gets to make that decision. And so...
Which I am still 100% that it is a woman's decision and she has the right to choose.
Yes, and I am
100%.
I am too. Like, this is now sensitive topic alert, sensitive topic alert.
Yes.
But the whole thing was, I'm straining to continue to look at you, so I'm just going to look at the wall.
Okay.
If there is a topic that is, or that men perceive or feel is off limits to women, in a sense that women don't get the opportunity to chime in because it's a man's decision or a man's, and then of course you just counter with everything's a man's this and a man's that. But
is that my voice or women in general's voice that you just did there? Mr. Sensitive, I've never said cock holster, but yeah, men make all understand you.
But I've been thinking about it since then.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a topic that men feel, women don't get the right to weigh in on, or society, I should say. I don't know. I don't think we have a comparable. And
I guarantee if men were the ones that were getting pregnant and having babies or not, that the legality of abortion would not be an issue.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Well, we'll never know.
True. That's an asinine point. True. That
But
has no bearing. That was just hate fueled. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Because the one argument that I did bring up that kind of got you stuck a little bit.
It did, but I thought about it.
Oh, have you?
Mm-hmm.
So the argument is, first off, we're both 100% pro-choice. You get to do whatever it is that you want to do. And I'm even in the camp of like, I don't know, like, I think we have too many people on this planet as is anyways. And I think everybody is like on their own specific journey. And whether you drop into this experience for a moment or for 100 years, it's all just a blink of an eye anyhow in the big grand scheme of things. So I don't really, it's not to say I don't care, but I kind of don't care if, you're aborting babies. I don't come at it from the perspective of like, that's a life and you don't have, it's your choice. You get to do what you want to do. It's totally fine. I understand that. I respect it.
Verbiage was awesome with that.
I did a great job of explaining my perspective. But the argument that I had was, because it is the woman's choice, right? If she wants to do it, it's her body, it's her rights and everything like that. But then we completely, in society, I think right now, I don't hear it anywhere and I don't see it anywhere because that whole argument is very, very loud. Or the counter argument of it's a life and it's murder and all those kind of different things. But nobody's talking about like the man who is the father of that child. There is a whole other spectrum or a whole other side where what if the man wants that child? What if the man doesn't want that child aborted? What if he wants that child and now the woman is the only one making that decision? And those circumstances in that situation is probably the rarity, of course. That's probably not the one that usually happens. But undoubtedly that does happen at some point and has happened and will probably happen in the future. And, you know, that's a really gray area where, because we have both daughters and sons, we only have one son, and we can see it from the perspective of both sides where, you know, if our daughters ever had a situation, you know, hopefully that never has to happen, and they choose to have an abortion, that's their right to do so. And then if our son is ever in a situation where he impregnates a woman and he wants that child, then that right of his should be respected as well. Because it takes two to make a baby.
I agree. And I think it's to a point. And some of the things that I've thought about with that, and whether we say it's a rarity or not that the man wants the baby, is hearsay. What my force is behind that is if it is just because you're pro-choice does not mean to put it bluntly, if you're for abortions doesn't mean you're going to have one. It just means that you are fighting for the right to say what is the best choice for you and your body. Like everything else you do with your body is the best choice. Anyway, another rabbit hole, not going to go there. And you're fighting for the right for your children to have that and continuing on to have your body, your choice, your decision, and not have your body ruled by someone else. So just saying that pro-choice should be a thing doesn't mean that you have to act on every choice. Like there's so many rights that I have with my body doesn't mean that that's what I want to do. I have a lot of rights and things that I could do. Doesn't mean it speaks to me. But I should have that opportunity and I want that all to go. So if you have a man that doesn't want the woman to have an abortion because he wants the child, I think that is a situation-specific issue that is handled in that way. But honestly, like that is a rarity. And I do, like if we have that Asher's in a situation, he has that rarity, I very much, as much as it would break my heart, you know, and my heart would break for him in so many ways, I believe that the woman that he is with ultimately it's decision. Her choice. And I don't want her to not have that choice. And I would...
That's good, babe. You're fine.
Absolutely be devastated at that choice. But of course I want to grandbabies. Like, are you kidding me? Of course. But I would respect her and I would support her. And I would give all the love that I had to our son and the pain that he would be going through with that.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah, I don't ever want to experience this. I don't ever want to. I was lucky enough to never have to make that decision. But I want the right to make that decision. And I hope our children never have to make that decision, but I want them to have the right to.
What do you think are going to be some of the repercussions from, or if any, other than just people up in arms and posting about it on social media and being upset?
Is that all you... No, the repercussion is death rates, is the fact that you have these women that have money or these men that have money that don't want their wives to find out about the mystery. They're still going to be able to find a way and go. And then you're going to have all of these women that have this experience are going to have the backyard or that back alley abortions. They're going to get infections. It's going to be sadness. They're going to die. They're not going to get the health care that they need. They're going to make choices that are going to cause them pain. So if you're saying, oh, you can't have death, you don't want a life's a life, then why is it okay for you to kill these people that are actually alive and breathing and like maybe have other kids, maybe have, like, you're taking their lives. You're tying their hands, having them make choices that are going to take their lives.
I was thinking about this morning, and so much of like society is trying to control what other people do based upon what we think is right or wrong. And at the end of the day, like, does it really, really matter? It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if somebody does something that we disagree with. That happens literally countless times every single day, all the time. But in the big grand scheme of things, like, it doesn't really matter, right? Like
I'm trying to understand. Are you saying it doesn't matter what they choose for their body, or it doesn't matter if they don't have good healthcare options and they have to go to coat hangers in an alley and die?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, like, so the argument in opposition to abortion, like the loudest argument that is out there in the people that want to argue that it's a life and that it's murder and that you're killing an unborn child and, life happens at inception and all these kind of different things.
Inception?
What is the correct?
No, I like inception. Insertion? I think conception.
Conception. That's probably a much more accurate way to say it.
No, I like conception.
Three
levels deep.
But it's being so concerned about, because it's not just the argument of abortion, but it's like how just, in the last 10, 15 years, homosexuality and how that was such a big deal and how people made such a big deal about what people were doing if they were gay. And now it's like transgendered. I mean, all of these different things, they don't really matter in the big grand scheme of things. They matter. Those people matter. Those decisions, those actions, everybody matters, right?
You're saying it shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't be an issue at all.
Yeah.
It should just be, oh, that person chose to do this.
Or
right. Or is choosing to live a lifestyle this way or that way.
Is it a choice though? Like, or if abortion's a choice, but I don't think homosexuality is a choice.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You're doing a great job of making me.
I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Because I'm not doing a good job of trying to explain what I'm trying to say.
Maybe if I shut up, you could.
No, it's just a matter of, like, to each their own, right?
Yes.
I don't care what people do. I don't care if you choose to live your life this way. I think the only thing that should be taken into consideration is if you hurt somebody else. That's it. Like, if you hurt somebody else physically, if you threaten somebody else's life, if you assault somebody, if you kill somebody, that should only be the thing that kind of matters, because then you have influenced their way of life, their living, their experience, right? And of course, that directly plays into the argument of abortion and how you're killing an unborn child. But it's like, I just don't think it matters.
See,
I mean, I care and it matters. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that at the end of the day, we just all should relax and let people live the way that they want to live and make decisions about their own lives that affect them and don't really affect us. Like, somebody that decides to have an abortion doesn't really affect me. Now, if it's somebody that I love and care about or something like that, then yeah, I'm going to be affected by it. But that's like my business, my effect, my life, right?
My business, yes.
And
everybody
so,
needs to mind their own business.
Yeah, and we do a terrible job of that.
Yeah. One of the other arguments that was getting me, that I thought, how is this even a valid argument for abortion, is all the people out there that would want that baby and the foster care and the adoption. And I like that's an option. And I agree, it is an option. Absolutely. However, that is not a valid argument until we don't have kids that are being forgotten in the foster system, that you don't have newscasts trying to like put kids up on the TV like little puppies saying, will somebody love this kid? Until all those kids have a home, that is not an argument. You're just saying throw them in a puppy mill, basically, and, well, at least they're alive. No, you give all those kids that are out there a home and love, and then maybe you have an argument for that. I think adoption and fostering is a beautiful thing. And that those that give that kind of gift to people that aren't able to have a child is beautiful. But there are so many kids out there that need a home. It is overcrowded and it is sad. And then knock it off with, if you can be a single woman or a homosexual and then have a child, like you get impregnant, you get raped, however, and you can be single and have a child, you can be a lesbian and have a child, or you can be in a married relationship, however, the dad decides he's a homosexual and then is raising the child. All of those things are fine, but you can't, like, they discourage adoption to single parents. Or, oh my God, a single man wants to be a dad. You know, clearly he's a pedophile. What the fuck is that? You know, if you have two gay men that want to raise children and that want to adopt, you know, clearly they're just sick pedophiles and they're going to turn them homosexual. What is that? That shit all needs to go. You get rid of all of that hate. You have all of these, like, open up to these kids. And then you can have that argument. Until then, shut up.
I think we need to start an intentional community.
I'm so emotional right now. I just like all these kids. Okay. Whew.
I think we need to go buy some property up in Canada.
Yeah.
There's plenty of land in Canada, I'm sure. And we can just start an intentional community where we can all live and cohabitate in a space of, yeah, you just get to do what you want to do. We all get to participate in life together, but I'm not going to influence my actions or my thoughts or my beliefs on you, and you don't get to do that to me. And
I love it. Do you want to hear the devil's advocate, how you like to play?
Yeah.
So you say that people can't, as long as you're not hurting somebody else, so right?
Yes.
So who holds that? Who upholds that there?
Who decides?
Yeah. And what is the level of hurting?
Yeah, I don't know. There's another big slippery slope. What do you think?
What do I think?
Mm-hmm. Because right now we let the justice system, we let police officers and the court systems and judges decide that.
I don't think police officers get to decide that very much. I think this is what they're told to enforce. And I guess they can decide if they want to arrest somebody or not. But then if they don't, then they get in trouble. Or I don't know. I don't think police officers have that much say. I don't know. I'd like to try out. I'd like to have an answer to that. I'd like to experience an intentional community and live like that.
Were you talking about who enforces that in an intentional community? Oh, I thought you meant like
because it's like everybody does their own thing. It's strange, but everybody does their own thing. There are laws that are beneficial.
The tribal council will enforce it.
So,
we'll bring Jeff
BIA?
Probst from Survivor, and we'll.
So you're Survivor. I was thinking not where I was going with that.
You're
Okay.
thinking of Native American tribal council.
I was like, that's okay.
No, we'll create a council of elders.
Of elders.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have to be at least 35 years old.
I don't think 35 is an elder.
Well, 20 definitely isn't.
20 definitely, no.
You have to be at least 35 years old to sit on the council.
Okay. I'm going to have to say no.
40? Because there's
I would like to think that this next phase of my life is where I'm going to have the answers, but I still think you don't want to be too, okay, because you still want to have enough
wherewithal.
Yeah,
you don't want crazy old people making decisions.
True, because or at least not old white men.
I'm going to be an old white guy one day.
You're not going to make a damn decision then. Like, no, you're dumb.
There are too many problems and not enough answers.
I think so much of it is heart-centered that I really don't. I think so many of these problems do go away if people mind their own business. There are things that communities need to be involved in. Obviously, children need to be protected. Bodies need to be protected. Having the choice to do what you please with your body is not saying that, well, I please to do this with that body, so therefore I'm right. That's not it. Everything you do is your body alone. Should be your free will, your choice to do what you choose with your body. And it only becomes something else when it's somebody else's body. And if you have something growing inside of you, it is your body. It is your body. It is inside you. It is still your body. It is your choice. What you have to decide. I mean, do you have to get approval to get a tumor out? I'm not saying the babies are tumors, but I'm saying it's your choice. It's your body. If you want to get, everything's fine. Everything's acceptable until
you hurt somebody else.
Until you hurt somebody else. Like, there's people out there that believe birth control is sinful.
Yeah.
Birth control shouldn't be.
Yeah, those people are called idiots.
They're called, it's religion. You have issues in, I'm not even getting it. I'm just like, this is such a rabbit hole. Once you start researching and hearing stories and looking at the differences between state-run hospitals and religious hospitals and the health care that you can receive and the difference, like, I was shocked. I was so blown away at the limited level of care and the way that doctors' hands can be tied and not providing the best care possible if they happen to have a saint in front of the hospital name. What is happening? How is that a thing? I mean, we don't have to,
This is America.
All right, Gambino. I don't know. It's sad. I wish I had the answers. I wish I had the fix. But every time, I don't know.
Well, definitely things to ponder.
Yeah.
I think we've solved all of the world's problems in this episode.
This is a pillow talk.
Pillow talk. Pillow talk with Steph and Craig.
Yeah, we're going to have to... Bed definitely isn't looking sexy now.
No, we'll have to have sex somewhere else.
Any ideas?
Yeah, if you've got some fun, look for us out there. Definitely not at an Olive Garden. But yeah.
How about you?
What about me?
Would you have like any places you'd like to have sex?
I want to have sex everywhere.
Like, help me understand.
So if you can think of a place.
Oh my God. Don't do that. Because that's not true. You put it out there that you're like, let's go anytime. I'm just going to flop it out and slam it around. Like, no. Like, where do you want to have sex?
Mountaintops. Yes. Rivers. Like laying by rivers.
So I like all of that.
Lakes, like islands.
Okay, we haven't had sex on an island.
We need to go find an island somewhere.
We have had sex on mountains, just not
we could go out to
tops.
Antelope Island here in Utah.
And
that's an island. We could go have sex out on that island.
Would that count?
It's an island.
No, that's kind of not, Yay. That was my bucket list check off. Oh, look, there's a buffalo.
Dressing room would be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you buy more clothes than I do, so I guess we'll go in the men's dressing room.
I don't buy any clothes. Don't look at my closet. Look at your. Let's go into your closet.
That's a closet full of hand-me-downs.
What do you think mine is?
Not a closet full of hand-me-downs.
I don't remember the last time I bought any clothes. Anyways.
So those pants that are sitting up right there on top of your clothes right there.
Hey, I thought we were talking about where I want to have sex. Yeah, I don't know. I like the excitement of the risk of getting caught, but I definitely don't want to get caught. I don't mind if like people see us.
Only if it's okay.
Yeah, like you know, I don't want, like, we're not going to go have, you know, sex on a playground or something like that.
Oh God.
That's
not funny.
No, like, of course, if it's okay. Like, if adults happen to see us having sex, I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me.
There's some adults that will be very offended.
Yeah, and that's fine. I don't care. Like, go fuck yourself. You probably need to.
Oh, I don't want it to be something that the police get called on.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, I'm going to have to run.
That would be...
I'm going to run. I'm not going to stand. I'm going to run and hope to God I have clothes on because I'm going to run. And be like, my name is Beth. You'll never find me.
I love you.
I would totally run.
Yeah.
Dressing room. What else? Give me one more before we go.
You know, I think about the plane, but I hate planes so much.
Well,
and
good,
there's
because
no way.
you fly and I never do. So I hope you don't have sex on a plane.
Yeah, but we're going to be flying again one day together.
Okay.
I don't know. Can you think of another one?
I've been in this hot seat. You've been in it for 2 minutes. So, like, give it an effort. Don't deflect back on me.
I'm racking my brain.
Okay.
Maybe like, that would be funny.
What?
I was going to say in a taxi, but we don't take taxis anymore, like in an Uber or something like that. But I don't see how that would work. Maybe a limo. Like, let's rent a limo and then have like a limo driver with the whole, like, you know, partition that slides up, and then you're in the back seat of the limo and you're driving to someplace.
Can we get one with a sunroof?
Yeah.
And then
would be
one
fun.
of us, like, up top?
There you go.
So.
Maybe a big enough sunroof that we can both be up top.
Oh my gosh.
Where the party's happening below, and then we're just up top hanging out. And we're like waving to people as we drive down the Vegas Strip in a limo.
I don't want to go to Vegas, though. I don't want to do it in Vegas. Probably get like a STD if we do it in a limo in Vegas.
We'll just rent a limo and drive down State Street in Salt Lake.
City Creek. That would be fun.
In a limo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't think we're going to rent a limo.
We could rent a limo to a dressing room.
Take a limo to the dressing room?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'd prefer not to. Like, kind of a nice dressing room. Like, I don't want to go in Walmart.
Yeah. We'll go to a high end.
Like, it doesn't have to be high. Just like kind of nice, you know?
Neiman Marcus.
Well, where were we? Where we got followed? Do you remember? It was St. Louis. Was it St. Louis?
I don't think so. We didn't go anywhere in St. Louis.
They were paying very close attention to us as we were going, because we did not look like we belonged in that shopping mall.
Maybe Portland.
No.
Maybe Vegas. We went to Vegas.
Was it? No. No, I think it was St. Louis. Isn't that where we were for the conference?
Yeah.
Where there was like the old money. You had your backpack on and with water, and we just looked.
We looked sketchy AF. Okay.
Anyways, yeah. Dressing room like that, but where people aren't paying attention to us because we don't look like we fit the $1,000 t-shirt brand kind of people.
Yeah, we're definitely Walmart type people.
I don't pay Walmart prices either.
We just don't have sex in their dressing rooms. We're a higher class than that. I love you.
I love you too.
So much of like society is trying to control what other people do based upon what we think is right or wrong.
Stay away from the Trojans. Rip for her pleasure my ass. Some people have money.
Let's sue them.
Risk of getting caught, not risk of dying. I don't want to have sex that could kill us.
Well, obviously your parents are having sex, And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you should be, I don't know, happy, I suppose. That means that your parents are in a loving relationship.
She walks around high-fiving her friends. Guess what? My parents are having sex. Yay! I don't.